The Air Force appears to have changed its mind about retiring the F-22 Raptor fighter. The service had originally planned to begin removing older jets from service in 2030 in preparation for the fielding of the jet's replacement. But now, the plan seems to be to spend billions of dollars adding new capabilities to the world's first fifth-generation fighter. Retirement deferred. The Air Force, according to Air and Space Forces magazine, plans to spend $7.8 billion on the F-22 between 2024 and 2029. The money is going towards research and development, testing, and upgrades. The fighter, although considered the best air superiority fighter in the world, lacks some capabilities of jets built after it, including the F-35 and F-15X. For the last 40 years, the Air Force has made a point of maintaining a force of world-class fighter aircraft to ensure air superiority in any future conflict, first with the F-15 Eagle, and then the F-22 Raptor. The service believes it's time for a new plane, a decision likely spurred by the development of the Russian Su-57 Felon and Chinese J-20 Mighty Dragon fifth-generation fighters. The new sixth-generation jet, tentatively known as Next Generation Air Dominance, NGAD, is projected to enter service in the early 2030s. The F-22 entered service in 2005, meaning a planned retirement for the year 2030 would mean it had among the shortest runs of any modern U.S. military aircraft. It's normal for the services to retire older aircraft as their replacements come online, so the push to retire older F-22s was not surprising. Plowing new upgrades into the F-22 signals that the Air Force wants to keep them around, likely for another decade. One reason could be that the service thinks NGAD will be slightly delayed, or that they want both the F-22 and NGAD to operate at the same time for as long as possible. Whatever the case, $7.8 billion is still a lot of money even for the U.S. Air Force. It's enough to buy 100 new F-35A Lightning II strike fighters, so this was not a decision that was taken lightly. New capabilities. The F-22 was developed during a time when certain capabilities such as long-range, secure digital communications and infrared detection either were not a priority or encountered technical issues that were never fully resolved. The new investments in the Raptor fleet will address many of these shortcomings. One example is stealthy fuel tanks. The service never designed fuel tanks that hung off the plane's wings, giving it greater range without breaking its stealthy profile. Instead, the jet carries ordinary fuel tanks that give it longer legs, but which are impractical for the F-22's assassin style of air-to-air combat. This was not an issue for years, but as Russia and China invest in air power and the arena is increasingly defined as Eurasia and the Pacific Ocean, the need for stealthy fuel tanks has become clear. According to Air and Space Forces magazine, the new tanks passed a critical design review in 2023 and are on their way to being fielded across the Raptor force. Another issue is Link 16 communications. Most ships and planes fielded by the United States, NATO, Japan, and other major allies can share data digitally using the Link 16 standard. This allows greater cooperation and information sharing on the battlefield, even among units from different countries. The F-22 was designed to receive Link 16 data, but the ability to send data which would involve emitting radio signals that could be detected was never developed. The new upgrades will allow F-22 pilots to both send and receive data via Link 16. The upgrades will also include Infrared Search and Track, IRST. IRST involves placing a front-facing infrared camera sensor on a fighter aircraft, which allows a fighter pilot to detect enemy aircraft and missiles via their infrared signature. This passive sensor does not broadcast energy that can tip off the enemy to an aircraft's presence. IRST was never built into the Raptor, but new infrared pods that hang off the wings are now on the way, with an expected fielding date of 2029. It's not clear what the Air Force's ultimate F-22 plans are. China is building 40-50 J-20 fighters a year, and the service plans to buy only 250-300 NGAD fighters in total. The service may decide to keep the F-22 around longer than planned, bolstering the number of stealth fighters available. Whatever the case, it looks like America's Raptors have earned a reprise.